Could you give at Marks with Mike's podcast a shout out? Shout out!
Hey, yo!
What a maneuver! Mamma mia! Mamma mia! Are you kidding me? The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, once again to another episode of Marks and Mikes. You already know who it is by the sound of my voice. That's right, it's your boy, 6'9", JT, back in this piece. Once again, and of course, I'm over with my co-host, El Cheech.
Yo, what's going on? Got a big one. Got a lion in the jungle, in these concrete jungles. Y'all gonna love this one.
Well, as you know, like we try to do every single time we come to y'all, we try to drop y'all off with an exclusive, and today is just the same. This is an exclusive interview. First and foremost, I definitely just have to go ahead and welcome to the show East Cleveland's own. What's going on? First of all, I gotta say this. Definitely holding it down right now, not only for the culture inside ROH, representing Shane.
The CEO. The CEO. Let's get it right. The CEO of Shane Taylor Promotions.
None other than Shane Taylor. What's going on?
What up, boys? I appreciate that. And you goddamn right, man. You got to start out with these interviews. You got to start out getting the introduction right first and foremost. You know what I mean? There's so many people that just come in like, hey, it's Shane Taylor. I'm like, no. Start it again. You know what I mean? CEO of Shane Taylor. You know what I mean? Like Jay-Z said, every deal I ever made says president on it. You know what I mean? So thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Man, bars right there, bars. So definitely, a lot of respect going out to you, especially with the groundwork that you're doing currently in Ring of Honor right now, bringing up this stable. But let's start off with you as a person. First of all, let the people know where you're from. Obviously, we done said it a few times, but let them know where you're from and let them know what it is.
The East Side.
Listen, like the saying goes, you're either from Cleveland or you're not. You know what I mean? So East Side, Cleveland, born and raised. Right there down the way, East 35th and Central. For people that don't know what that's about, you really don't want to. So we'll just leave it at that. Grew up kind of rough, as anybody from the land knows. They know what's involved: the drugs, the gangs, the violence, the death. All of those things could be huge deterrents to success. They can put you in a position where you feel you have no other options. You have no other choice but to continue to play by the rules of this crooked game that we're in. You know what I mean? But fortunately, I was able to have the right people around me at the very right times to guide me on the path that I'm on. And the only thing that I can do now is take the opportunity that they've given me and try to make the most of it.
Yeah, that's great. And the fact that some hard times. So you from the land, west side, east side, don't matter. If you make it here, you know what I'm saying, and it determines, how much you could pawn me, how much shit you could take in life. You know what I mean? It builds you up. You know what I mean? But going on that, so how do you got into professional wrestling, and talk about your early days and on the trainers?
My early days of professional wrestling, as far as like being a fan, I would go to the shows with my dad. We went to the Richfield Coliseum back in the day, and that's when I first sort of saw the environment that pro wrestling had, and seeing Kerry Von Erich versus the Warlord, which wasn't a standout crazy match when you think about the inspirations that people have, but to see them go to a double count out and watch the whole building absolutely lose their mind. They're throwing hot dogs, popcorn, drinks, the whole nine. And it was like, yo, whatever it is they're doing that pissed off this whole building full of people, I want to do. I'm antagonistic by nature. Maybe it's the Cleveland in me. I don't know. But once I saw that, I was absolutely hooked. And fast forward a few decades, leaving college, you know what I mean? Sports background there, football, wrestling. Decided to try my hand at this. Got involved with a guy by the name of Ray Rowe, who is Eric of Viking Raider fame on Monday Night Raw, former tag champion.
To me, the War Machine. They're always going to be the War Machine,
Listen,
man.
I get it. I get it. But like Ray will tell you, like Ray will tell you, the check's clear as Viking Raiders, so that's what we go with.
Okay. Makes it.
The check's clear as that name, so that's what we're going with. All the rest of it, you know what I mean? So, and a guy by the name of J Rock, aka Jerry Myers, give it up one time. So they set me on my path. They took me with them up and down the roads. Every piece of information that they had, they gave to me. Still do to this day. I just talked with Ray, 2 minutes before I came on here. You know what I mean? So they gave me an incredible foundation to start this career of mine, to continue down it. And now I get to pass some of the things on that I learned from them on to my guys, and just come full circle with it.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. I mean, definitely, man. You mentioning names like J Rock, who I think is still currently active.
Well, for sure, he's never gonna retire.
No. I got that. I got the chance to see him do a couple things at RSW as well, but getting trained down here. Now, which school did you train at?
When I was training, there was a promotion called Firestorm Pro Wrestling, and that's where I got my training at. It's not around now, but you had everybody there, from the Morty Rackhams of the world, Michael Hutters of the world were there, and a lot of them trained at Cleveland All Pro, with JT and some other guys. So I came in at a very split time when it comes to the Cleveland independent scene. There was like the whole thing with Firestorm and AIW, and I came in on the Ray Rowe side of that, still on the Ray Rowe side of that. So that I'm a very loyal person, so that's where my loyalties lie. And once we started there was just no going back.
Can't stop, won't stop. So tell me about the day that you found out that you had gained a Ring of Honor contract.
I remember it's like the end of 2015. Around that time, me and Keith had been doing a bunch of stuff. I had been doing single stuff, but we were really starting to get on a roll. And I remember getting the email, printing it out, and just sitting with it for about 10 minutes, not signing anything, just looking at it, holding it, just taking the moment in, and I was talking to Ray at the time, and and he told me the same thing. He was like, look, there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who go into this craft, into this profession, trying to get what you are now holding in your hands. So he's like, understand what that means, understand the work you have to put in, understand the work that you've already done, to get to this position. And it's just getting started, you know what I mean? So I am living the dreams, of people all across the world right now. So I am very fortunate to be in this spot, but I know that the work's not done. Even 14 years into this game, you still feel like there's just so much more to accomplish. There's so much more work to be done. And I will continue to do that and continue to try to open up the doors for not only my peers, but the generations coming after me, that I think some of the generation before me forgot to keep open.
Preach. Well said. Yeah. And that's big because, representation, especially nowadays, is huge. And to some people, they don't might gather, how much it means, but, you made your own path, and you kept grinding, Now it's like, let's say you always been top dog in this Cleveland boys' eyes, but now they giving you that shine. And by the way, before I forget, Kenny King, but we'll talk about that another time. No,
Right.
but
Yeah, and for people that don't see it or don't understand the importance, I think a lot of that is lost on them because they are used to being the default norm. They are used to seeing people like them on screen everywhere, doing everything. So when it's your norm, it doesn't seem as though it's special. It doesn't seem as though it's important because that's just everyday life. And what I would do is I would ask them and challenge them to switch perspectives. And if that wasn't the norm, how would they see it? You know what I mean? How would they react? How would they feel about somebody looking like them, accomplishing something great, and not simply just being the stereotype of what they are supposed to be, but to be doing something that is that people can support and be proud of and be happy about and uplifting. It doesn't necessarily mean they have to be, a model person to do it. It just means they have to be the one, to be able to show people, hey, this is possible. And we're starting to see that change come in professional wrestling, and it's a breath of fresh air, you know what I mean? Because not everybody has to be the same 5 characters. Not everybody has to do the same thing. Not everybody has to be a caricature of Black culture. Not everybody has to be, the shuckers and jivers or the angry Black guy or the, or the dancers or the, teddy bears. Like, you can go out, create a unique persona, create a unique idea for yourself, really flush out who and what it is you want to be. And go be that, and I think that it's the steps that we've been making, the progress that we've been making is long overdue, and it's good to see.
Amen to that. Hey, JT, what?
Yo, you preaching right now, bro. You definitely preaching because when you look through wrestling, period, for minorities, particularly, it's the same characters,
right?
And each person that plays a character puts their spin on it, but it's almost like going to McDonald's and them telling you, oh, we just improved the Big Mac. Check this out, we're using real meat. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
right. Now the Big Mac with pickles. Now the Big Mac with 2 pickles. Now the Big Mac with 3 pickles. Oh, it's crazy. Like, it's the same fucking sandwich.
It's the same sandwich, which is why.
Yeah, iPhone, all that shit.
Right.
Hey, hold on, bro. Chill out with the iPhone slander, bro.
Oh, my bad.
Chill out, bro.
It's all about, listen, bro. I'm with you, bro. It's all about the Android. Listen.
Oh,
where we're
no.
from. Let
us know, Shane.
Listen. Where we're from, right? We know what hustlers look like, okay? How an entire company convinced the world to buy phones that cost more than people's car payments, probably 2-3 times what a car payment is, and doesn't function for that price, doesn't do half the shit that they say that it's supposed to do. You don't even have a phone jack, a headphone to your shit. The signal is trash. It's absolutely ridiculous as to how people have hustled an entire worldwide population. I can't even be mad because they did it, because people bought it. So I can't be mad, but you just gotta understand what the hustle is and, give respect for them being able to do it. But you will not catch me with an iPhone. You will not catch me doing any of that foolishness because why? It makes no sense. It makes no sense.
God damn.
Man.
So let me get this right. So I'm about to get jumped on my own show about my iPhone. All right, cool, bro. Cool. It's cool.
I mean,
don't worry about it.
I'm gonna bite the ankle.
Listen, to each their own, right? I'll never judge anybody for their choices, but couldn't be me and my money. I'll tell you that.
Wouldn't let it happen to me, though.
Wouldn't let it happen to me, though.
All right, cool. So look, man, I'm definitely seeing that everything that you're doing, man. I mean, let's talk about this Shane Taylor promotion, because The very first person I had on from Shane Taylor Promotions was my boy Rev Ron Hunt.
Right.
And when I tell you, man, dude is not only just solid, talented,
Talented as fuck.
Right.
and also, man, his mind got a beautiful mind, man. The way he thinks. So tell me how all this started. You know, Rev Run and all the pieces falling into place till now.
Planning, you know what I mean? Like synergy is a vital piece of any team. And in order, like you always hear about coaches saying, you know, everybody's got to buy in to the team being successful. If you want to win a championship, everybody's got to buy in, right? With Shane Taylor Promotions, you know, I stress that none of these guys work for me. I am the face of the team. I'm the captain of the team, and without my guys, I can't be successful. And I am leading this team to where I want them to go, which is championships, success, money, the ability to have our fans, our culture, people that follow us be able to be proud of what we're doing, be proud that we're representing ourselves the right way, be able to set them up financially to help end cycles, to be able to change not only their families' situations, but other people around them, to be able to help change their communities. That's what this is. This is not something that we want to try to just be the flavor of the month or the internet, the internet popular group of the week. This is a long-term plan. You know, when you listen to guys like Jadena and they talk about 100-year plan in their rhymes, that's what this is. This is the long game. I'm not here to sprint. This is a marathon. So what this was and what this is us taking our careers, our names, our likenesses, our images, everything that we do into our own hands. And in situations like with professional wrestling, it is not always the most skilled or whoever is the best that is presented in that light. So what we decided to do was, hey, we know who we are. We know what our skill sets are. We know we're the best. If you don't want to promote us as that, we'll do it ourselves. No one's going to believe in you more than you. No one's going to hype you or gas you up more than you, because you are the one that is with you every day, putting the work in, so you know what you are capable of. And in talking to Ron Hunt, we had the same mentality. We had the same vision. Same with Conan Moses. Same with O'Shea Edwards. Everybody sees how this game is, and they want to change it, and they want to shape the way that people view it. Change the perspective, change the narrative, change the idea of what a star can be, who a star can be, what a star can look like, how a star walks, talks, carries themselves. And for us, there is no bigger compliment, there is no bigger satisfaction than having people message us and tell us, hey, you know, you guys are the reason we watch Ring of Honor, or you guys are the reason that I came back to professional wrestling, because you understand, you represent us, and you do it correctly. And this isn't about, placating or anything else like that. This is simply giving people what they have been dying to see for decades. And that is strong, intelligent, articulate, powerful Black men and women standing on a stage with their peers, telling them and telling the rest of the world, we are not second to you. We are just as good, if not better. And we will continue to prove that day in and day out.
And y'all have been doing that, man. I mean, just looking at the pieces gathered together, and then recently seeing the action figures that were made for y'all, I was like, yo, that's legendary. You know, someone taking themselves out, someone taking their time out to do that themselves, and it's almost like to a point you are forever immortalized in a sense. You know, you're on the whole action figure. you know,
Yeah.
and
No,
people don't
I
get
was
that
gonna
opportunity.
say, JT, with this stuff, you know what I mean? As we saw the other place, there was a nice faction, the best thing going, and they got rid of it. So, you know what I mean? It's hard to actually keep something like going, and especially like that, organics, the synergy that they have, you know what I mean? It's and like he said, it's a marathon, so I like marinate. But
The
man, that's that's the one of the best shit popping over there in Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? And Ring of Honor been doing their thing. Salute to them throughout the whole
absolutely,
pandemic. They everybody,
absolutely.
you know what I mean, doing their thing. So salute to all
500
y'all.
episodes, 500 episodes in.
I
I know,
mean,
look at that.
you know what I mean? That's longer than I think someone gave a stat out like that's longer than ECW and WCW combined as far as like what their
Facts.
heyday was. You know what I mean? So we would be remiss not to appreciate and celebrate the magnitude of that moment. You know what I mean? And what better way to cap off that episode than with the Briscoes fighting each other? You know what I mean? Two of the cornerstones of ROH for the past almost 2 decades. You know, and I sent out a tweet the other day that said the Briscoes have carried us for, you know, the first 500 episodes of ROH TV. Me and my guys will take care of the next 500. You know what I mean? So that's the goal, you know, is to be able to put this company on our backs, to put our culture, our people, our fans, whoever they may be, on our back, and continue to keep that bar raised and raise it higher, because that's what not only is expected, but it's what's demanded from us.
What's the one thing you say that is missing from professional wrestling today?
Intensity, and not like so much in the matches or effort. What I'm talking about is a lot of people watch it to go, okay, I want to see these guys have a great athletic contest. Cool. I'm here to fucking fight people, man. Like I want big fight feels. I like the amount of attention that the Jake Paul fight just got. That's what professional wrestling should have every single time. Every single time. I don't understand how other people are doing what we do better than us. It makes no sense. You know what I mean?
Right?
So for me, that's what I want. I want people to be talking about, yo, fuck the star rating, fuck this, fuck that. I want to see them go out there and throw hands. I want to see someone beat the hell out of the other person, no matter who it is, men, women, however you identify yourself. Like that is the goal. This is supposed to be simulated combat. Then let's go. Let's get to the combat. You know what I'm saying? Let's really see who the biggest, who the baddest, who the best are. And that's been my whole thing. Is, you know, when I call myself the baddest of all time, doesn't necessarily mean that I hit the hardest or I'm the strongest or you know, anything like that. What that means is I am willing to go further and farther to get the job done than anybody else is.
Not give up.
Every single night. You know, they talk about the old saying, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but it's the size of the fight and the dog. Well, the problem is you have one of the biggest dogs in the fight that is willing to put up the biggest fight. You see what I'm saying? So win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter. I am going to make sure that everything I have is left in that ring. And even if you manage to beat me, you will not feel like you won. And it won't look like you won either.
You're gonna catch these hands, bucko. No,
Hey.
Going night. I think, and you are right, especially with, you know, what's going on, you know, with Jake Paul. If you call that boxing, hey, so
that's basura.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
listen. I will say, and you are talking to a guy who is a boxing purist. I love the sport of boxing, right? This is the thing that I don't understand, though, and this is what a lot of people miss. You can talk about the purity of it. You can talk about the blood and guts guys. You can talk about what's real and what's not, and what's respectable and what's not. But at the end of the day, if you are critiquing these people, these athletes, but you're not buying the fights at full price, if you are not supporting the sport the way you talk about you do, then you are the reason stuff like this exists, because your respect doesn't pay their bills. Your admiration for them doesn't pay their bills. Your acknowledgement of them doing things the right way doesn't put food on their table or put their kids through school. You know what does? The gate, ticket sales, pay-per-view buys. That's what makes things go. So if you are sitting here saying, well, I love boxing and that's not boxing, but you haven't bought a fight since 97, shut up.
Shut up. Since Tyson.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like you are the reason things like this exist, because this is what generates the money. This is what generates the views. And if you want stuff like that to stop, then you have to go support the real. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that I say in wrestling. You can dislike a company, you can dislike whoever, but you not watching it doesn't help shit. It doesn't help anything. You going out, watching it, making sure the segments of the people that you support go up, you make sure that viewership goes up, you make sure you're buying their merch off the racks. That is what makes people notice. That is what changes things, because people then see money in it. They see the opportunity and the value in it for them to make this stuff happen. People will not just do it because it's the right thing to do. That's not how business works. It should be, but it's not. This is a money-based business. So you want to continue to see things like this happen. You want to continue to see this progress go forward. You have to spend the money and show the support to make it happen. That is how this whole thing is going to continue to go. And I wish more people understood that, as opposed to just saying, oh, well, they're not doing what I want, so I'm not watching. Wrong. You not watching only gives them the excuse to continue to do it. But if all the numbers are there, the merch is there, all these things are moving, everything is where it's supposed to be, they have no choice then but to give you what you want to see. This is a consumer-based sport.
Stock market.
It's the same. No, but you're right. That's the same thing. That's what this is. If everybody said, yo, we'll just use, for example,
Dogecoin.
Right, right. So if everybody said, yo, tomorrow we are making sure every single time Naomi's on TV, we're watching. Every single thing that comes out, we're buying. Every single thing she does, we want to make sure the views hit viral hit viral status. Every single time that happened, she'd be the champion next week.
Real talk.
I mean, you know what I mean? Like that is what this is. So that's my advice to everybody. You know what I mean? That's like, well, you know, how come this doesn't happen? This is why. You have to put in the support, the monetary gain for people to see this stuff happen, and then you'll continue to get the success that we've had.
Boom. So real quick, if you're booking yourself in a fatal 4-way match, who would be those 3 competitors that you're going up against in a fatal 4-way?
Is this current people or of all time?
All time. It don't even matter. It's whatever. This is your card. You booking yourself.
Fatal 4-way. It is me versus Ray Rowe versus Keith Lee versus Stan Hansen.
Otro.
Okay. All right.
And
Wow.
we're
That's hard. That's
and we're just gonna see who the last person standing is.
Ooh,
okay.
man, that's gonna be a slobber knocker.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Oh,
I'm
all
here.
Okay. I could feel that one. I could definitely feel that. All
right, hit
right.
it. Hey, about the I was gonna ask you your theme song. How did that come about? Lion in the Jungle. You know, it's fitting.
The I had a song by Montezi Moore called Different, and it talked about uh the fact that I am overlooked, that I go against the grain, that I am more than just what I am more than what a lot of people feel as though a champion could be or should be. And one thing that I love to do is tell stories, especially as I evolve, not only in my career, but as I evolve mentally. Because if you see the same world at 20 that you do at 50, then you wasted 30 years. You know what I mean? So um, I continue to not only tell my evolution through how I perform, through the way I speak, the way I conduct myself, but through my music. And with this, it is no longer talking about me being underrated. I think people know who I am. I think they understand how good I am, what I bring to the table. And now it's asserting that dominance to go, not only do you know that I'm here, but you know I'm the baddest dude here. And not only that, I know I'm the baddest dude here. And so now it's accepting that role, having that confidence, and being able to go out there and be the leader, be the champion, be the person, be the father, man that I wanted to be, that I know that I can be. It's all about reaching that potential and delivering on that. You know what I mean? Because all the potential in the world is great, but if you don't live up to it, then it means nothing, right? So now it is about living up to that potential.
And the thing is about it, man. To have it and not use it is definitely a waste. Like
Absolutely.
my pop gets on me sometime. Like he says, "Oh man, are you still playing keyboard?" I'm like, "No, I haven't picked up a keyboard since 2011." And
Right.
that's a natural gift I got. Like I've never took a lesson more than a week. I play by ear. Haven't
Right.
made a beat. Haven't made a beat since 2011. So in a sense, I'm wasting my God-given talent. But eventually, I'm about to kick myself back on that horse. But so going a little bit more further on in your career and just moving on from the wrestling aspect of you. Okay, I gotta know real quick. You spoke about music. Who are your top 5 artists currently right now in the game?
Right now in the game, oh, that's tough because I really don't follow a lot of stuff currently. And it's not one of those things where like, oh, you're just stuck in the past. I'm a big person when it comes to lyrics and messaging, right? Because
That's me.
that's what hip hop was based off of. It was a way to get people out of doing violent things and settling things differently. So for me, if everything that you're talking about only consists of money, hoes, drugs, and spending your money, there's nothing I can relate about that to myself and to my life, right? So I am past that point mentally. I am past that point as a person. So because
What
he's
about?
still doing music, I feel as though I can toss Jay-Z in there. Um, I can toss in Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah, it's a Cleveland bias, but he's good at what he
We'll
does.
accept that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What about Conway, the
I,
Machine?
I have not kept up on a lot of it, so a lot of these names will be new to me. But if we're talking, lyricists, then you've got to go, Kendrick, you got to go J. Cole, you've got to go guys like Hobson, you know what I mean? And of course, my greatest of all time, rest in peace, the dog. DMX grew up listening to damn near everything that he put out, and I probably shouldn't have at that age, you know what I mean? But man, you talk about range, depth, the ability to
the message,
bro, the ability to make you cry on one song about his grandmother, and then the very next song he talks about, you know, I thought the corpse, and you're like, whoa, like the jump, you're like, holy shit, you know what I mean? But man, he could do it all, you know what I mean? So the goal is to be as diverse, as well-rounded as, and have as much range and as much skill in my craft as he did in his, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, I definitely understand that, man. DMX, I got put on the X by my homeboy Jason. He's from Brooklyn, born and raised, and he moved down to Florida, which is where I'm originally from. And he was like, "Yo, you heard about DMX?" He showed me that album cover. I was like, "Nah, bro, I ain't never heard of this, but I can't bring this in my house because, you know, I grew up in a Christian household, like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just even looking at the album cover, like, no, I can't bring this inside my house. Like, no, right. But you know, I ended up getting put on, you know, just listening to it, like his storytelling is so detailed, like, you know, like don't get me wrong here. Like a lot of this music now, and it's not to knock anybody, it's like you can back then you can close your eyes, play the album, and picture the exact story they were telling.
Right.
Nowadays, you know, it's more so hooks and beats.
And everybody sounds the same. Like I can't different. Like if I listen to them, I could try to separate them, but at first glance, like 90% of the guys sound the same. So I don't know who's doing what, which song is by who. The names are similar. You know what I mean? So I just get lost in, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like anybody is really unique. You know what I mean? Whereas I feel like years ago, everyone had their own unique style, unique personality that made you want to go out and see them. You know what I mean? But now I feel like everybody kind of sounds similar.
That's true though. Everyone's using auto-tune for some reason. I blame T-Pain, but it's cool.
I mean, listen, T-Pain did his thing. He didn't make everybody else try to jock his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
everybody just hopped on it.
Everybody was just like, hey, this is what made cash. And he was like, I guess. But that's only shows that's only a testament to his greatness. You know what I mean? To where people said, oh, damn, whatever he's doing is going to set the trend for the next 15 to 20 years. So, you know, let's do that. So props to him for changing the whole game. You know what I mean? Whether or not it was changed for the better, I don't know. But he can only control what he does. Whatever else happens outside of that
happens.
Exactly.
And I've been rocking with T-Pain since the nappy heads, like, you know, going back to robbery. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, so that's a Tallahassee, you know, legend, Florida legend. Go ahead, Cheech.
No, that I was gonna say about the music, like Bone Thugs, you know, back in the day and stuff like that. But the fact that, you know, like you said, it's a bias thing. You know, the fact that they were for Cleveland, like, you know.
Well, yeah, but Bone is a legendary group in their own right. You know what I mean? Like that. Let's not have anybody listening thinking I'm just putting people in here because they're from Cleveland. Okay. It's just the fact that them being from Cleveland just happens to help, but they're already, you know, the very best at what they do, regardless of that point. That just allows me to connect with them on an even deeper level because I know what it took for them to be able to be successful, not only in the city, but out of it. So that's why I give props to a guy like Machine Gun Kelly or the Bone Thugs, because I know what it takes to be successful from the city. You know what I mean? And if we're being honest, a lot of people are going to be mad, but he beat Eminem in that song battle, bro. He did. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, this is the thing. This is the thing, right? Eminem, I equate to Tyson later on in his career, right? People were so hungry to see him do what he used to do that any sort of inkling that that's what he was back on got hyped up so much. But if you really sat down and look and listen to what they said, right? MGK said, okay, I get it. You have more money than me. You are more famous than me. We get this. You inspired me to do what I do. I understand. But what you did was corny on 2 counts because you tried to stop me from getting money and you went on and you're talking shit now 6 years after the fact of what you said you were pissed off about. If that's the case, you should have just addressed it then, right? That's essentially the crux of the whole statement. And then Eminem came in and talked about, I'm more famous than you. I have more money than you. One called it in under scope and you're Swayze. Like, okay, you said it in a funny way, but you just repeated what he just said. Damn near word for word. So it's like, you know what I mean? You didn't really bring anything to this.
You got a point.
Right. That was new information. You didn't say anything that was like, oh shit, he got him. Yes, you're funny. Yes, you're quick-witted. Yes, you are one of the greatest of all time at doing this. But you didn't, you just admitted to what he said you did. And if this was old Eminem would have called you corny for what you did. You see what I'm saying? Because why would you then try to stop someone else from making money? You see what I'm saying? Like,
nah, you don't never stop nobody cash.
Exactly. You went from being the underdog to the franchise. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say MGK won, regardless of how people want to spin it. Facts are facts, and the words are what they are.
Word. But not my bad. Like the thing that I was gonna ask you, I forgot. It was like before I forget, it was pretty much this kind of switching it up a little bit. The state of the business, the wrestling business. How do you feel like seeing it from the inside, but like how it's helping so many of your colleagues, have opportunities when one door closes, another one open, and all the streaming services. Yeah, got the Honor Club. It's big, you know what I mean? Like it's getting bigger. We saw, I think, MLW going to Vice TV supposedly coming up. So, what's your thoughts?
Listen, I am all for any and every opportunity for the people doing this to make money. You know what I mean? So the fact that we're getting to a point where wrestling is going to these different platforms, that just means more opportunities for people to be successful, to make money, to feed their families, more people to get jobs, and I'm all for it. To be a small part of that, to be a small part of the reason for that on my end feels amazing. And I love the fact that people look to me for advice or look at me to see what I'm going to say about things, that my voice carries weight in this game to an extent. I'm extremely proud of that, and I am very cognizant of the fact that I am in this position for a reason, and I make sure I understand that, and I use that with the utmost responsibility. Because we've seen people have their platform to kind of do wild shit. You know what I mean? So the goal is to be able to use this to the best of my ability and use this in the most positive way possible for not only my fans, not only for the companies that I'm involved in, but for the culture as well, to be able to have that. Be grateful that someone is doing things the way that they should be done.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So I guess here's where I come in with the last 2 questions here. I asked you earlier about music. Now I got to talk about, TV streaming shows, things that you watch. So to you, in your opinion right now, what are some of the dopest shows on TV? Just give me 3.
Jeez. I don't watch that much TV. I think I can go with the last ones I watched. Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy was up there. That was super dope, especially with my dad being in an MC. A lot of that stuff was just like, okay, it was very, very relatable. The characters were incredible. Charlie Hunnam as Jax. I can't remember his name, but the dude that played Opie, dope. Got same dude played Gary Bertier in Remember the Titans, also dope. You know what I mean? Like he's been killing it in everything that I've seen him do. Cutthroat Kitchen. I don't know if anybody watches cooking shows, but man, you talk about Cutthroat Kitchen. Essentially, the premise is it's a cooking show that you get to fuck with the other people on how they make their food, right? Bro, listen. So let's say the 3 of us have to cook this thing, right? Now you've got judges. Their only job is to taste the food. They don't give a shit what happened. They don't care how you got sabotaged. They don't care. The only thing is, did you make it taste the best? That's it. But imagine all 3 of us have to cook pancakes, right? But I buy this sabotage that says that you now have to cook everything in aluminum foil.
Damn.
Shit like that makes this show incredible because you see people get sabotaged. You can see it in their face when they're like, all right, motherfucker, like I'm gonna get you back to that. Right? I've seen people have to cook gourmet meals on like an easy bake oven. Like, bro, it is the wildest shit to see. And just you gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. Cutthroat Kitchen. Super dope. And then man, I gotta say, and I know it's been off for a while, but I'm a huge fan of the Boondocks, the cartoon, the Boondocks.
You're talking about coming back.
Hey, listen, and I'm nervous because in today's world, I don't know how it's gonna hit. You know what I mean? But I also feel like it's sort of like The Simpsons or South Park, right? Where they go, hey, look, we're gonna say some wild shit, but we hit everybody with the wild shit, so nobody can really be that upset because we hit everybody. You know what I mean? So fair is fair. You know what I mean? And I hope it's as well received as we all want it to be, and they're as successful with Aaron Magruder coming back as we all hope they are.
Yo,
it's gonna be on HBO Max.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
it's gonna be on HBO Max. So that is
they might be able to get away with something.
That's what I'm saying.
It's on HBO. It's HBO.
Exactly.
HBO gonna let the boys ride. But real talk. So since you brought up the Boondocks, one of my favorite shows, hands down, period. I gotta know,
Uncle Ruckus.
man, look, I want you to rank these moments from the Boondocks 1, 2, and 3. Okay, the episode where Uncle Ruckus found out he was black.
Mm-hmm.
That's 1. Number 2, the first episode, which to me was one of my favorites.
Garden Party. Okay.
The Garden Party. And I want you to rank Xbox Killer.
Okay. It would be
Thanks, delicious.
Listen, I was going to say that's not my top 3. That's your top 3, cool, but that's not my top 3.
No. That's not my. Them just the ones that came off the top of my head. Now I got the whole series, bro. We can go down the list, bro.
Listen, I mean, for that one, I would have to say Xbox Killer, Garden Party, and then the Uncle Ruckus one, 1, 2, 3, with 1 being the best. But if it's my personal 3 favorites,
go ahead.
You are talking about number 1, the Santa Stalker, is my absolute favorite episode. My absolute favorite episode. Then the Gangstalicious series. Then
Oh my God.
Then the Thugnificent series in that order.
Magnificent.
Bro, listen, but the Santa Stalker, bro, listen, that last line he hit Ruckus with was like, hey, I heard you work for Santa. Tell him Riley said I'm gonna see his ass next Christmas, and he gonna pay what he owes. Damn, the coldness of it all for a 7-year-old or however old he is to just be like, nah, G, I want everything you promised me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, and to think the voices, who was doing the voices? You know what I mean?
Regina King, bro. Listen, she
Kills
is out
it.
here crushing the game.
Oh my God.
Absolutely crushing it. You know what I mean? So major shouts out to her for everything
She's coming
she's
back?
been doing. I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't see how you do it without her.
Exactly.
She's coming
So
back.
Okay.
she would absolutely
Okay.
have to.
There's hope.
Absolutely. But boys, I gotta go. I'm already late. But thank you so much for this. Thank you again. Pleasure. And keep doing what you guys do. Yeah.
All right. We appreciate you.
All right, for sure.
The promotions.
All day.
Thank you.